We're live here for the first episode of Heavy Muscle Radio of 2021, the longest running podcast TV show in the history of bodybuilding. I'm here with John Romano, Lee Priest, and we were here with Chris Aceto, but he is in Miami someplace.
He's still here. He's still here.
Oh, there he is.
There he is.
John, I added that title on because I didn't realize, but we are the longest running podcast TV show, whatever you want to call it, in the fitness and bodybuilding industry for sure. There is no one who's been doing this longer than we have.
No, Carl Lenore has been doing Superhuman Radio for 15 years.
Yeah, but his is really not bodybuilding specific.
Right. This but as far, that's the entire industry. Falcon Fitness. As far as bodybuilding niche goes, we are definitely the longest running, and we don't miss episodes either. We recorded on Christmas Day, Thanksgiving, wherever it falls. So it's, we didn't have shows. We didn't have that cush deal that Dan Solomon had of 40 shows a year. Remember that?
That just shows if you're in this sport, you have no fucking life.
There you go.
Someone wants to know if I'm related to the filmmaker in Vegas, Nick Palumbo. No. John, are we related? And John and I found out we're related. Are we related to him?
You and I are related. I don't know about them.
That's why I said. Well, there's Chris.
There he is.
Can you hear us, Chris?
I can hear you.
Oh, great. We're live with Chris Aceto now. We have two Chris Acetos now on the show.
It looks like him.
Chris, you brought up a very good story. I want to before we lose you, I want to get it out. We were talking last week a little bit about the loss of Peter McGough, obviously at 71 years old. And John, I'm gonna have you tell your story too. Lee and I talked a little bit about it on New Year's Eve. And obviously, I think that, regardless of what my relationship was with Peter, I truly believe he was probably the greatest bodybuilding journalist and the longest running bodybuilding journalist in the industry. I don't think anyone will ever, eclipse what he did. And you did it for a pretty long time, John. But, you had a pretty interesting story that I didn't know, Chris, about when Peter was editor-in-chief over at Flex and Muscle Fitness. We almost got the story.
I guess that was a really sensitive issue.
Yeah.
Yes, Dave. Yes, Dave. When I was up at Weeder's office, I shall tell you what happened. That guy was an asshole. He took over Peter's job. We didn't like him.
Now, John, your relationship was interesting with him because, you were the editor-in-chief of Muscular Development, and Peter was the editor-in-chief of Flex Muscle Fitness. And Bleckman had started this war using you as the vehicle, obviously, to try to go after the Weider magazines. And then the Weider magazines would kind of strike back at us, Muscular Development, and Peter had to do the editorial writing after that. So you guys were really in a verbal war. Talk to me a little bit about that. Explain to a lot of the fans never read all those magazines and don't even know what the whole how it all started.
Thank God for that. Yeah. But the thing you got to go back to the Bleckman Napoleon complex that started this whole thing. Bleckman thought he was Joe Weider. He thought he was Joe Weider's contemporary, and Joe Weider thought he was a flea on a bull's ass. So when that whole war started, it was Peter McGough on behalf of Flex who was picking fun at us at Muscular Development. So Bleckman made me respond back to Peter McGough. He didn't say write me an editorial. No, he let me do it in either the Rage page or whatever I was doing. I had he wanted me to go after him, be controversial, and really stir things up. And we did. We went back and the conundrum for me was I knew Peter McGough. I knew who he was. This is one of the most revered men in the entire bodybuilding journalism pool. And back then we were in magazines, not the internet. And magazines had the prestige and the power, to reach the people. We were the voice, so people would wait every month. What's next? Versus, the internet now where you find out everything in 2 seconds flat and half of it's not true and whatever. So, so we had a whole, thing going on back and forth, but it almost became a war of insults after a while. And I thought it really denigrated to a point where, our cumulative creativity is completely being wasted on nonsense. And Bleckman is, we're going to get these guys.
Did it start? I don't remember. Did it start before the dinner that Bleckman had with Pecker?
Way before.
Okay.
Way before. Yeah.
But that was kind of like the pinnacle of it, wouldn't you say?
Oh, well, that was when Bleckman thought he was gonna
buy Flex and Muscle and Fitness. Just to give the fans an understanding, the AMI came in and bought Joe Weider's magazines and half the Olympia, 50%.
Well, the whole portfolio. There was a ton of magazines in there.
Yeah, and so obviously the Muscle and Fitness Flex, were the ones that we were kind of competing against. And Bleckman had this, and this is when I was working from. I was the editor-in-chief of the magazine, of the website, and Bleckman had this idea that, hey, you know what? I'm going to buy just Flex. I'm going to buy Flex magazine from AMI because they don't really need it, and so Bleckman went to dinner with Pecker. He met him in the city, right? It was Elise, Steve's wife, and Steve, and Pecker and his wife, right?
No. It was Pecker and his accounting guy. Another executive. Yeah.
Tell the story. So tell the story from there.
So I don't really remember. It was a long time ago. But basically, what happened was Pecker was asking Bleckman questions, and Bleckman was trying to ask him questions, but Pecker kept out-dueling him, Yeah. And then, Bleckman said, well, he wanted him to sign an NDA if he was going to tell him anything. He got insulted after a while. And then Pecker said, I'll buy you, and not, you're going to buy me, I'll buy you.
Oh, is that how it's? I didn't know how it's spelled around like that.
Because Bleckman's nobody. So,
Bleckman wanted the magazines for like nothing. He didn't want to pay a lot of money.
Of course, you wanted to buy them for nothing, and he wanted to know what the numbers were. And you got to remember, the numbers back then. There was a huge difference between the way Bleckman reported circulation and the way Flex and AMI. AMI did it the right way. They did it with the Bureau of ABC, Audit and Bureau of Circulation. They did actual real audits of sell-through, and they give you actual real numbers. Bleckman's sales model, Bleckman's reach was determined by Bleckman by the industry standard, which was Barnes and Noble around the corner from the office.
He would tell people what the circulation was by how many he printed, right? Not by how many he actually sold.
And what the funny thing was that the sell-through was so bad that what they would have to do is that, like the 7-Elevens, all those copies they didn't sell, they had to rip the cover off and mail it back to the circulation
to get the credit for the magazines that weren't sold.
Credit back for it. So you wouldn't know for like 6 or 8 months how an issue did, and then so Bleckman would take the initial numbers, which were the magazines on the truck, and the first drop offs they made. We got 150,000 in circulation. It's on the truck. It was circulating on a truck.
Right. It came off the press, and then they delivered them, but that wasn't how many they sold. Is what you said.
No, and they had tons in the warehouse. You remember they had to rent the whole freaking warehouse to keep the.
I didn't know that. So what they do with all those copies when it was all said and done?
They sat in the warehouse. I mean, we used to sell
back issues.
Back issues. We sold quite a few of those. Right. And then after a while, he just got tired of warehousing them. And I moved them to the office. They were in the lamp store there for a while.
Oh, they were?
A lot of them. Yeah, he had some space in there that he had stashed them in. And
he had to have millions of those things, though, right?
I guess he threw some out. I don't know what his process was. I just remember he had a warehouse where the gym was, where the one that was in a strip center, and he had a garage door, where storage unit was all full of boxes of magazines. Right. Yeah. So
Bleckman comes back. So didn't Pecker walk out of the dinner on him?
Yeah. So Pecker gets insulted because this little peon is that.
He's like, I'll give you $10 for the magazines,
and then telling him
11 if you really push me on it,
and then telling him to sign an NDA. Like this guy's like ridiculous. Yeah. So. Yeah, Pecker got aggravated with the little guy, and the two of them got up and left. And the upshot is that Bleckman and Elise stayed there, and they left, and they ate, and then they had their food, the Peckers and the other guy's food boxed up.
Oh, they took it home. Well, Bleckman probably had to pay for the meal. That's why, right?
Put it to the dog, but whatever. I mean,
what restaurant did they go to? Because I know Bleckman likes the fancy restaurant.
Sparks? Didn't they go to Sparks Steakhouse?
Oh, where what's his name got shot? Where the Castellano got shot?
I thought that's where they went. It was someplace in Manhattan. Yeah.
Imagine they had a hit on Pecker. Blackman put the hit on him.
Blackman's sitting in the car down the block watching,
like Meyer Lansky or something like that.
No, John Gotti was down the block in the car watching, making sure.
Yeah, but we have to find like a famous Jewish mobster to
Meyer. A lot of them. Meyer Lansky was a good one.
Anyway, so Bleckman said, then you have to write this article about.
Right, yeah, that gets worse. So. Yeah, but this doesn't describe my thing with Peter McGough. But anyway, this is what.
Well, it does because you write this very insulting, thing about Pecker, and obviously they go crazy over
that's right,
we lost the Olympia press passes.
Yeah, no, because McGough answered. No.
Yeah, McGough was very insulted.
Right. So Bleckman tells me to write this scathing account of what happened there, and how embarrassing, it was there for Pecker and the other guy, whatever. Me not having been there, relying on the words of, so I'm like telling Bleckman's story, right?
Yeah.
And which is obviously embellished beyond. Beyond.
And then you had to add your own embellishment.
And then I had to make it controversial, and controversy. And then
least controversy from MD cost him his IFBB pro card.
Yeah.
And our Olympia. So that gets printed. I get all this feedback, and then Peter McGough responds and really I got a beating on that one, and I deserved it too because I wasn't there. It was just, and he was absolutely right about everything, and I felt terrible, because I felt totally used. I felt like taking even 10 showers wouldn't wash this.
I will say that what you wrote was very funny. It was hysterically funny to the point where no matter how many times I read it, tears were coming down my eyes. Because John had made this thing such an embellishment that if you visualize what he wrote, it was truly hysterical. Because first of all, Pecker and Bleckman are both what? They can't be over 5'5", right?
They jog. Think about joggers,
So how did you and Peter ever make up
together?
With the 70s headband, yeah, and the frosted mustaches, right?
and the wristband, and the bum bag, and the little Walkman.
Chris, did you tell me once when you saw Bleckman with the frosted mustache and the hair? He had better hair. Chris said he looked like Doug Henning to me.
Yeah,
from The Magician.
He looked like Doug when he came onto the bodybuilding scene.
Oh my God, Doug Henning, the Muppets. No. So Peter responds to that. Look, my feeling was that if I had to write this crap, I'm going to really go overboard, because then maybe people like Dave would know that I'm going overboard on purpose, So to mark the ridiculousness of it. So anyway, that really stepped up the battle, and then I had to fight.
That's my Doug Henning picture. The people who don't know who Doug Henning is.
Doug Henning's magic show.
I actually saw Doug Henning live. There was one of the few things my parents took me to, and they actually called my father up on stage. Can you imagine my father going up on stage and Doug Henning pulling fucking rabbits out of his underwear and shit like that? It was really funny.
You got to put these glasses on.
He looks a bit like a gay Gallagher.
So who in the 1990s is going to go get their hair cut, get it colored, okay, frosted, man in his 40s, frosted, and get his porn star mustache frosted the same color? He kept his mustache from the 80s. He kept it. So he had to frost it to keep it the same as his hair.
That might come back in style. You know, guys are wearing beards now. Maybe they go to the frosted mustache look next.
Oh my God! Does he still? No, he doesn't have it anymore. Yeah, he got rid of that. Well, anyway, Peter. So the moral of this whole conundrum is that I was basically forced into an unsavory relationship with Peter McGough to satisfy Bleckman, and then Ben Bleckman badmouthed me to him and everything. It was really.
So how did you guys make up? What was the? How did you guys?
Because Peter saw me at a show when I was with Max, and and later he just came up and he goes, we should start. I think he sent me an email actually.
Oh, really? And
he said anybody that could show that much, the way I was with Max, he said can't be a bad guy. And I go, I'm not a bad guy. I was told to be bad to you.
Right.
So, I guess he understood that we had an interview. Then we started doing interviews together for Muscle Mag or I don't know. We did a post Olympia interview together.
Yeah.
Outside in the parking lot in Vegas. And then, we stayed in touch, and then, we kind of got out of touch when he went to work for Bleckman because, Bleckman fed him.
That's right. I forgot he worked for Bleckman. That had to be him sucking it up big time because there's no, he hated that. It was a total money move on his part. There's Bleckman with the frosted hair.
Oh,
yeah, but you got to get the frosted mustache.
I can't find a picture of it.
There's no pictures of him from back in the Twin Lab.
I don't know. I don't think so.
That actually looks like a vegan version of Ellen. Ellen's a vegan. Fuck.
Oh my God!
Look at his hair. Look at.
You can't make this shit up.
Ellen.
And who's he talking to? He's not even on the phone to anyone.
He's talking to you on the phone. What are you kidding me?
No, Evan sent the pod.
Yeah.
Do you have those foil strips in? I got to come and get my hair done again. You got the foil strips? I'm coming.
And that bag, he's always had that obnoxious fucking bag hanging.
The pocketbook, yeah.
Everywhere you went.
So Chris, if hopefully we got some service on you. What happened with when Peter was working at AMI and he lost his job, or he supposedly retired, even though he didn't retire?
Well,
I don't think it's going to go through.
We're never going to find out.
Yeah.
But huge loss though for our industry.
Absolutely, yeah.
I watched what you did on him, and that was really very well done.
I had this, unfortunately, always had this adversarial relationship. I actually had a relationship where I started talking to him again, and then we had this crazy. It was actually, I blame Sean Ray. We had that run-in at the Arnold that year. We were interviewing someone.
Yeah, that's right. When you said he was drinking and he wasn't, or whatever.
Well, you know what happened? Sean stole a guy who we were about to interview. We were about to interview Ahmad Ashkenani, and Sean purposely came in and took him away as we were turning the microphone on because they were like battling with us. I don't know why, like to be a wise ass. So I said, turn the camera on, and I said, follow me. And I went in and I went to Sean. I started asking, what's going on here? They were in the middle of an interview. I said, well, you steal away our guy. He was about to start an interview with us, and I was breaking his balls. I didn't care,
Right.
And so I don't think Peter knew what was going on. And he just thought that I was just crashing this interview, like to be obnoxious. He didn't know what Sean did because Sean did it very on the sly. So he started screaming and he actually bumped me. Bumped into me purposely, he stomach bumped me, and so, I wasn't going to be disrespectful to an older guy, there. I'm not going to push him back or anything like that. That's not my style. But so, when I was relaying the story afterwards, I said that he must have been drunk because who would do that? Who in their right mind would do that? So, and it wasn't done as an insult. It was done more as vaudeville almost, because I don't think Sean took the whole thing, and I didn't take the whole thing seriously, but it came off as though we did because I approached it that way to make it funny, and unfortunately, it cost me my relationship with Peter because of that. But
you have a history of getting into physical altercations with people higher up in the higher up in the hierarchy that you can't lash out at because it'll destroy.
Right. Jim Mannion choked me out. Yeah,
I doing a headlock. Right?
Yeah, I didn't. They just grabbed my throat. Yeah, I get people so angry that I get them to burst.
Be like me. I'm never in trouble. Look, take the higher ground.
Blackman got you in trouble a lot because he used to make Lee do these controversial columns too.
Controversy sells. Yeah, Lee, talk about it.
Yeah. So, and then I'll get a call. Lee, why did you say that?
Yeah. Someone wrote, this guy Jim West writes, imagine Big Lenny's stomach bumping you. I said, yeah, I'd probably be in Guam after he hit me with the stomach. He knocked me to the moon.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Oh,
So Dave, why are you upsetting people lately, Dave?
I'm upsetting people?
Yeah. Who are you upsetting now?
Yeah, Shanique.
Who'd you
Dave, again, Dave, upsetting someone.
Lee and I do this show.
Don't bring me into it. I'm just here minding
we did a New Year's Eve show.
Throw me under the bus.
Lee and I did a live New Year's Eve show, and one of the topics we talked about was that Shanique Grant announced her retirement, which was weird because I don't think anyone expected Shanique to retire, right? So Lee and I were speculating, we watched the video that she put up and she said she wanted to have a family, whatever, but when you're 24, most people don't really retire. They kind of take off like a year or so if they're going to take
weeks.
Off. Yeah. Or 2 months. Right. So we were kind of, and she got, and I'm like her biggest advocate. I've been saying she's the greatest talent, in the women's division ever,
I said that too. We both have said it. Yeah.
I mean, multiple times. I mean, and so I didn't think anything was wrong, and she contacted us, and she was like, "Take that video down!" And how dare you? So I'm thinking, Lee, did we say anything like really bad? Like I had to go back and re-listen to it.
Nothing.
And there was nothing. So I said, Shanique, what are you so upset about? I said, I don't appreciate people, speculating and talking about my private business. I said, but you're a public figure. You're a 2-time Miss Olympia. You're a celebrity.
And you're leaving.
And you're leaving the sport at the pinnacle of your career. I mean, and you got ripped off, at the last Olympia. I said, so I even approached the question. I said, do you think that had anything to do with it? Sometimes people get a bad taste in their mouth when they get ripped off, especially when you're the best of the best.
Sure.
So she was all mad. She was like, I want you to take it down. I said, I'm not taking it down. I said, there's nothing. We didn't say anything disparaging about you. If anything, we were saying we were supporting you and the fact that you got robbed at the Olympia. And, it is what it is. And so she was all mad about it. And then,
take it down.
Someone else actually contacted me and said, didn't even know that I had this exchange with her and said to me, Dave, he's like one of our fans. He has his own channel. He's like, I got this person in the industry contacted me, a very, high up person, and they're threatening to sue me if I don't take down a video I did on my analysis of the Olympia. I said, well, who the heck, who would say that? And then I said, the only person I said, and then I thought to myself, I said, I did. And then he told me it was Shanique.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah. Yes. I don't know. I don't know why she's having such a,
I heard. I've never met her. I don't know anything about it. I've just heard people say about her that she's very difficult.
Yeah, I never had a run it. She's always been the sweetest pie to me, and we've had great exchanges, interviews.
Yeah, so
I don't know
why would you snap like that over nothing.
If you're retiring, it's people going to talk about it. It's news,
Since she just got here. I mean, it's not like she's got a 20-year career, Like
that's Lee. Lee. I think Lee made a crack about that. He goes, "Oh, she competed a whole 6 years."
Well, that's nothing bad. That's like I just said, she's competed the whole 6 years and she's thrown it in, but we always just said maybe she was just taking a break because, sometimes after a contest when you don't win, you have that diet brain going on. And you're like, well, if I came in thinking I looked good and I didn't win, maybe I just need some time away. So nothing. Hey, I've said bad things. Nothing was bad. Okay.
Can you hear us, Chris? Are you there?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm in like the 50th spot that I've tried.
Okay, this sounds good. All right. Can you tell the story about Peter McGough when he left the Flex?
Yeah. there was a coup with Alan Donnelly.
Explain who Alan Donnelly. Alan Donnelly was working there at the time.
Explain who he is.
Yeah, he was working there. Peter, I don't really know who he is.
Well, he's actually now he's I think the father of Nicole Wilkins' child, right? I don't know if they're married or not, but he was working for Flex Muscle and Fitness.
I work,
What a sequence!
I work for Flex and Muscle and Fitness. I worked for Flex and Muscle and Fitness a long time,
Right?
And I dealt directly with Peter, and I I reported directly to Joe. No one else. Sometimes, but
that sucks.
Ugh, we're losing him.
I know. I want to hear the story. Do you know it? You got clip notes?
From what I understand, from what Chris said, is somehow Alan Donnelly had something to do with them getting rid of Peter and putting him in charge. I think that's what
who Alan Donnelly is. First of all,
Alan Donnelly. I don't even know how he got a job there. He just started working there. He was good. He was a good reporter.
He was like a reporter, like a writer.
Yeah, he wrote. He was always like appearing on Dan's radio show, like kind of giving reports and stuff like that. And somehow he worked his way in there, I guess. And somehow Peter all of a sudden said he was going to retire. So I assumed it was, he was older. He said, all right, I had enough. I don't want to be bothered. But then next thing I know, he's working for Bleckman. So then, then I realized that somehow, he got pushed out of there. Now, I didn't know if he got pushed out by Allen or by Pecker. I don't know.
But to put that into perspective, okay, it wasn't the MD when we were there. It was the MD 5, 6, 7 years after we were there?
Oh yeah, they were already starting. It was the Titanic going down, but Peter was getting a paycheck though. So
I mean, for Peter, we all said, God, poor Peter, because that was like getting off the space shuttle and getting on a roller skate. Peter
didn't like Bleckman, so the only reason he must have done it was for the money. Yeah, Bleckman, which I don't blame him.
Bleckman, and then Bleckman stopped paying everybody. So that
he probably owed Peter. In addition to, he's probably on the list. Yeah.
How about that? We did that. He used to scream at us about spending money on like things that made money, right? For the website and for the magazine. And then we leave, we do RX Muscle. He's handing out $150,000 contracts like they were. I can't believe Lee didn't get one.
Lee, what was the most you made over there? What was your highest salary over there?
From Bleckman?
Yeah.
$60,000 a year.
All right, well, that was pretty good.
Too bad.
You were his favorite, so.
Yeah.
And that's all I got, $60,000.
You could
how many times a month did you have to give him a blowjob?
I was going to say, if I knew someone was getting more than that, I wouldn't have fucking swallowed.
Jay got more than that.
Jay.
Jay got $150,000 a year.
I think he got more than that.
No, it was a 5-year deal. I think, too.
Hey,
or 3-year deal or something like that.
What do you think about all this stuff going on? I posted it on my thing about that whole thing going on with Coach Tal and how they're going on about, and people are saying how this guy disrespected Phil by just simply saying, "It's not your day, Phil. Rami's going to win."
Hold on. Give us the whole backstory.
Well, the whole backstory was Rami's manager or brother, they're like brothers anyway, but he's his manager, was backstage at the Olympia. Where they're pumping up. He's standing back here with his phone. He's a long way back, but he zooms in and he's just talking to his phone saying, "Today's not your day, Phil. Rami's going to win. Rami's going to win today." And he just says, "God is great," whatever. But then when he posts the video, he even puts down legend Phil Heath, legendary champion. That's a nice thing. But then Nick's Strength and Power takes it and goes, "Who is this guy backstage heckling Phil Heath? How disrespectful." Phil Hill, there's a flashback.
Don't disrespect Phil Hill.
Heckling Phil Heath. This is so disrespectful. How did this guy get backstage? This should never happen. Blah, blah, blah. And then it just went on and on. Then everyone started abusing this Tal guy who now resigned from being Rami's manager. Now, they're still good friends. But then Nick Trigilli talks to Phil. Phil never heard what he said. He wasn't affected by it all. Ian, what's his name, goes on Floud Show saying, "Oh, there's a big commotion back there. Phil heard." Phil said he didn't hear. He didn't even know about the video until the video popped up. But all these people saying, that's so disrespectful. And it's so disrespectful. All he said was, and that's the meme I made. All he said was that it's not your day, Rami. Phil's going to win and stuff like that. And who doesn't say that? When they're out on stage posing, everyone's yelling out, oh, Rami, it's yours. You're going to win. You're going to win. Who doesn't say stuff like that? When I was backstage, when I was competing, one day Sean said that, I was going to beat Flex. Flex heard. Flex comes over and goes, Lee, you're not going to beat me because of who I am. Titus and Kamali used to go at it. Titus would be yelling across the room. How you going, Kamali? How you looking at this show? Kamali takes his shirt off. Titus yells back, you look like fucking shit. You missed your peak again. It's like, this was going on all the time.
Yeah. He used to fuck with Kamali so.
Oh my God!
Yeah. Now people are saying this was disrespectful of this guy simply because he said, "Oh, Phil, it's not your day. Rami's going to win." Now, even if Phil had heard him, if I was Phil and I'm pumping up, and someone goes, "Lee, today's not your day. Flex is going to win," I'd probably turn around, smile. It's not going to make me lose my pump.
No.
When I go out, it's like boxers who box and all these other sports where you actually need to focus. They get heckled all the time. Cricketers, baseballers. And these people actually have to focus on doing something. Now, someone's heckled me backstage. When I walk on stage and I stand there, what do? Oh, fuck, I forgot what I got to do. What am I out here for?
You're
what am
upset.
I out here for?
Well, you're upset because Nick is acting like the morality police.
But
And there is no morality police. It's a freaking sport. It's fucking war out there.
You get on stage, though. This is how bad our sport is. When I say bodybuilders are dumb, once we actually get on stage, guess what? We don't need to think. Somebody says, front double bicep. Oh, thank you, front double bicep. Thanks for telling me. Sometimes when they say quarter turn to the left, some fuckers still get confused and face the other way for some reason. But then it's like, okay, now turn to the rear. Oh, this is going to be hard. I won't be able to see you if I turn around. You're not going to fucking trick me when I turn around, are you? I won't be able to see you, so make sure. It's like, how could anyone heckling you mess up your conditioning or even mess up your train of thought?
Right.
You got to stand on stage and hit poses that someone's telling you to fucking do. It's not like you're out there punching on and people are heckling you. And, come on.
There shouldn't be like the morality police, it's a little annoying. I understand what you're saying. And you know what? Nick does have a very popular channel. So when he starts acting like that, it does influence the fans, and they think, well, he's right because, these kids are young and they follow him and, it sends a bad message in that sense because it's like, there really are no rules. It's right. War backstage. And Arnold was the biggest, he would fuck with people more than anyone backstage. Right.
Remember he'd be telling at the back of the bus, "Hey Louis, I already told my mother I've won this show." And
right.
I think even in Pumping Iron, he tells him, "You're not ready. You need a couple more weeks and stuff like this."
Spend with Louis just one night.
Right.
He will lose because
I will convince him. I'll talk him into losing. Right.
My God! If you did that today, you'd need a fucking counselor and shit. Everyone would be like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you did that. Are you okay? Right. Are you okay? Do we have to help you out? Here, let's get the little snow." Everyone's like, it's disrespectful. The guy's talking. It'd be like me if I was filming you backstage, pumping up, Dave, and I'm standing back here. And let's just say someone I know, I'll be like, "Yeah, my mate Simon's going to beat Dave today. Dave's not going to win. My mate Simon's going to beat him." How's that disrespectful? If I was yelling out to you, "Hey, fucking Dave, you look like fucking shit."
Right.
It's like, that might be disrespectful or whatever, but it happens in every sport. There's heckling. But why in this sport where big grown men, "Oh my God, you've said something to me. I'm losing my pump. Jesus Christ." It's like,
let me ask you this question. Why are they even how come some people can have coaches backstage and some can't? Not everyone can, obviously.
I think they said at this Olympiad, there was quite a few.
Oh, they allow like one person back there? Oh, okay.
Coming and going. But it's just, I remember before when we used to compete, we weren't allowed to have someone, which I used to hate because like if you had your wife with you, who's been with you through the whole prep, you have someone to talk to keep you in that frame of mind and then to help you put the tan oil on. They said, "No, you can't have anyone. We have tanners, we have oilers." But then all the officials would bring fucking 10 of their family members backstage. "Can you have a photo with him? Can you get a photo with him? Can you get a photo with my cousin?" Man. Oh, guess what?
Speaking of everyone,
dog. Can you get a photo with my dog as well? I brought my fucking dog backstage.
All the people, right? Who knew?
I'd say, yeah, sure. As soon as I can have one with my wife,
After I think it might have been the Iron Man that they had when they had it right next door to the Staples Center that one year. Well,
I remember they had it in Pasadena. The Ironman was always in Pasadena.
I think they moved it 1 year to LA Fit Expo.
Is that when they first? Yeah, when they had the first Fit Expo thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Pasadena though. Remember when
it went from Pasadena, but they moved it to that arena next to the Staples Center there.
Because I went from Redondo, Pasadena.
Yeah. And I saw Triple H and the whole wrestling crew was there at the Staples Center. So I called him up and I said, "Hey, are you here at the Staples Center?" He's like, "Yeah." "Are you at the bodybuilding show next?" I said, "Yeah." So I took Flex Wheeler. He had his son with him. It was Flex Wheeler, me, and I forget who else was with us. And we went after the bodybuilding show. We went in there, and Triple H hadn't wrestled yet. And he's like, "Just come back." He had a guy meet us at the door, took us backstage, and who was backstage? Like a little boy, he was in his, he was probably 30 by then. It was Macaulay Culkin. He looked exactly the same as when he was a kid, except he was like 6 feet tall, and he was like a little like little girl, like all excited about the wrestlers, and he was backstage because he was a celebrity. They would let these people backstage.
Good thing Bleckman wasn't there and saw him. Oh my God!
Well, that's the reason why they stopped allowing people backstage.
He would have been taking him home alone. That's
Yeah. Anybody who tells King Kamali he looks great and his glutes are shredded, he's got.
Yeah, but the whole thing Nick did on that video, because Nick just speculated, and now the guy was getting hate mail, death threats, and it was just.
Oh, was he really? Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, that's not cool. Yeah,
everything. I mean, everything. Then, like I said, he just resigned from his job. He said, "You know what? I'm sick of these bodybuilders and stuff."
Someone wrote in the comments that Nick's strength now removed those videos after Lee and Trujillo exposed him. So is that true? So maybe he did take down that video. I don't know. I didn't look.
Maybe, because even Nick Trujillo, like I said, he posted the comments from Phil Heath because he was talking to Phil, and Phil said, "No, I never heard him. I didn't even know what was going on till I saw the thing." He goes, Rami did send him a message and apologize for what had happened, but there was nothing to apologize for. It's just the guy saying, "My mate Rami's going to beat you. It's not your day, Phil." It's like, whoa, if you can't handle that in this sport, man, look, I've said it many a times. I know testosterone shrinks your nuts, but fuck me dead, guys. You still have them. Have a little fucking search around in your sack. If you find 2 peas, you still got your fucking balls there. Act like fucking men and grow up, for God's sake.
Here's a good. All right, you know what? You bring up a good point, Lee. Why, John? Why are people so sensitive today about? Is it? Hold on. Is it the internet that is just? It's like, in other words, you go to a show and people make comments, but then it goes away because you go home and. Back in the day, nowadays, it's like never stops. It's like keeps getting rehashed over and over. Every YouTuber wants to do the same video about the same story. And I think it's driving these people crazy. I don't, people can't escape it. It's like,
No, I mean, the social justice warriors are, a new thing that are wreaking havoc on issues of political correctness and what's acceptable and just foisting a lot of nonsense upon people. I mean, and people have gotten weak. I don't know if it's their upbringing that was too cushy, that mama treated them all, to doted on them too much or whatever. But man, people are just fucking pussies today, and they're promoting being a pussy. It's like, what's that dating channel?
You can't have toxic masculinity. Masculinity.
So they promote the alternative. Like, what are those dating sites? And they got the guy, and the guy is like this.
eHarmony.
Actually, like hat. He's drinking frappuccinos at the he ain't smoking weed, man. That's the little cappuccino with my finger up. Oh, yeah. No, he's drinking it with a straw. No man drinks with a straw. All right,
with the pinky out, with the little pinky out.
Cappuccino, it's weak. And there's a great meme that says it all. It's got the scene from Easy Rider from 1970. So you got the 2 choppers, riding side by side, and then today you got the 2 dweebs on the Razor scooter, going down down the street. They got masks on, So,
that was a man's man, Dennis Hopper in Easy Rider.
Yep, Dennis Hopper and Easy Rider, man. I built a bike like that, the Chopper, the red, white, and blue one.
Did you ever see Dennis when he used to come into Gold's Gym? He
lived right down the street. Yeah. He was like 2 buildings down, Dennis.
He was funny. He was a funny guy.
He's out on the sidewalk in his bathrobe getting the paper.
He's a character.
The answer to your question is people are weak. We have demasculinized, overly sensitized everything and made everything an issue. And this whole idea that people get offended and that we're supposed to do something about it is fucking nuts. You get offended too fucking bad. Either grow a set, get a sense of humor, or let it bounce off you. But nobody owes you protection from calling you fat.
Right. And you know what? Someone put a good point in the comments here. They said that Phil actually came out and defended that guy who made the comment and called out Nick's strength for creating drama where there was no drama. So Phil wasn't even offended by it, you know.
And someone said too also in the comments that competitors can do that, not this guy backstage. Why not? Fans yell out stuff all the time from the audience. It's like this guy said Rami's going to win. It's not your day, Phil. I watched some of these podcasts that were doing the live streams. They were saying worse shit than that about Phil. Phil's gut sticking out. Phil this, Phil's that. Yeah. Phil's not going to win. Rami's going to beat him. It's like, what's the difference? It's like, it's bodybuilding. People give opinions. It's any sport. Shit, don't go to the cricket here. At the cricket here, they had one of the Australian cricket captain, his wife had like this fling with a footballer. And when he was out playing, they all made these footballers masks because she got banged by him in the toilets. So when he come out to play cricket, they all put this guy's mask on and just heckled the shit out of him. It's like, but even here in Australia now, we can't. A lot of some of these games now, they're actually trying to ban it that you can't boo. All you can do is clap.
Oh and then are you kidding me?
No. They're saying if you boo, that's thing, and then. Heaven forbid, it's happened a few times. We have a few Aboriginal players. If you boo for them, now you're racist. It's like, no, you're not. It's just that this guy's a good player. You always boo the guy that plays really good because you don't want to see him beat your team. That's why. It's like you always heckle the guy. Yeah, but now it's like a little clap, but then you can't clap too much. And then how's this? Did I mention my nephew? He coaches soccer, and I think it's like 12 and under now here. Some of the teams. They don't do scoring because what happens, in case you don't know, is if one team scores more than the other team, it upsets their little brain. So they have a soccer match now, but they don't score. So I was watching this soccer match last year with my mother. This team had 6 goals. The other team had none. So the referee had to come over and say, listen, let the other team just score a few goals before the game's over. Just so I'm like, what the fuck is this shit?
Really? Holy mackerel.
Yeah, so
the thing with Phil, though, also I think you have to temper with the fact that in our industry, he's universally reviled as a dick. So you've got that kind of sensitivity over the issue to begin with, and then if somebody's going to badmouth him and say he's going to lose or Rami's going to win or what, it's kind of like compounding the fact that he's only saying that because they don't like Phil because nobody likes Phil.
Right, but Phil didn't even have a problem with that. That's the funny thing,
Phil didn't know
about it apparently, according to Lee.
I didn't hear him. Didn't know what was going on, and like I said, but then on the Floud podcast, Ian, who said he was backstage, said, "Oh, there's this big commotion." Phil heard it. He made up a whole different big story. That's the Nick Trigili's latest video today was just talking about how there was none of that going on. Ian just made all that shit up. There's no commotion. No one was trying to throw punches. He didn't.
Not like the old days.
Another story I wanted to bring up is about Flex Lewis because Flex. I didn't even know this, but it seems as though
Vegas?
He moved to Vegas. When did this happen? Now, John, you knew something about it because your friend you said bought his gym.
Yeah, my good friend Max's godfather bought his gym. Yeah.
And because everyone was asking me, what happened to the Dragons Lair, that gym he has, and I thought it was. First of all, I thought it was only a private gym that he just kind of let his buddies train at. But you're saying it was a full-fledged gym, huh?
That's my understanding. It was a really cool gym. I mean, he said,
I saw it.
A really, really cool gym. So, I mean, I guess Flex just wanted to get out. I don't
Change
know.
of pace, huh? That's a pretty, I guess I'm sure he's been planning it for. It seems like to me like he decided yesterday to do, but obviously he's been planning to move.
This happened a while ago. He's. I mean, Steve bought his gym months ago.
Oh, really? Because no one really said anything. No one's really talked about it.
Well, this is why you pulled out of the Olympia. This is why.
I like, I respect when people make bold moves. Don't you like when people make bold moves like that and just completely, change their environment, like that? I think that's cool.
I'm the master of it. So's Lee.
Yeah.
Isn't Vegas a lot easier on tax and stuff like that, property tax and different things?
No, not to Florida, I don't think. Florida's
I thought it was.
Cheap. Although he was in a fancy place. Boca's expensive.
Yeah. Well, Vegas isn't too cheap either, but no, you got no state tax in Florida, so I don't know if there is in Vegas. Is there in Nevada?
I don't know. He must have had some kind of reason to go there. You know what I mean? He must have some business, thing going on there. Maybe he moved there because he thought that's where the Olympia is going to be. Yeah, that would be a bad mistake in this environment.
And it ends up moving to Florida. I gotta call my buddy and see what's up with Flex, because it's kind of interesting, and we should find out what's going on.
What's Steve doing with the gym now? Is he going to open it to the public and sell memberships?
I haven't talked to him about his business plan is. I mean, he does a lot of cool stuff training wise, and he's a really good trainer. He's got a really good power yoga program that he invented. That's really.
I'm sure he's not doing power yoga in Flex Lewis's bodybuilding gym.
He works with a lot of professional athletes with respect to their stretching, proper biomechanics, alleviating injuries, training, help recuperate from it. He's really good at that stuff.
Right.
Breaking news. Yeah, hi guys, hi listeners. Nick Strength and Power here. Got some breaking news. Just heard it today. Flex Lewis has moved to Las Vegas. That is correct. He's teaming up with Jay Cutler. They're opening up a gym together. I can't confirm this, but I know Jay does live in Vegas, so I assume they're going to be working together and have a gym together. Jay's going to train Flex for the Mr. Olympia. That's
maybe
right.
Shanique Grant is running the gym. Maybe Shanique will be working at the gym too, or be a partner.
Shanique, you can say hello to Shanique on the front counter as you walk in. She'll scan your cards for you. I haven't confirmed this story yet, but please like and share my video. Nick Strength and Power out. Thank you.
You've been doing some great impressions lately, Lee. You get the Aceto down, you got Nick Strength and Power down.
The Aceto one is precious.
Yes. Yeah. Sometimes I think I'm with.
Where is he?
I think he gave up and went to McDonald's.
Chris is on vacation with his family in South Beach, and he was taking time, sneaking away from them to do the show. And for some reason, it's just horrendous service there. John, when I went there years ago, I used to stay at Chris's condo when we would, cover the Nationals and stuff like that, or go to the Masters Olympia, and the service was sketchy then, and I'm like thinking, all right, well, it's like 10 years later. You think that they would have like at least 5G. I mean, 5G would be fine. Although, maybe Chris's phone doesn't pick up 5G. That's probably the problem.
Too many buildings, too many skyscrapers.
I don't believe it, but they have, because they're so high, the buildings, they should have great service because they can put all the towers.
He's on the ground, and they're all up. They make,
I guess,
block of signals from.
Right. I need to address a people keep saying, Lee, Nick worships you. Nick's a big fan of mine. Yes, I know Nick's a big fan of mine. He was commenting on my meme, and I told Nick, if you can't have a laugh, then there's no point in carrying on in life. So Nick knows I have a go at him and making fun of his stuff. So yes, if Nick can't take a joke, then he's in the wrong business. Trust me.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. I mean, look, no one gets ribbed and riled more than the three of us, right? I mean, we have people that love us, but we have a lot of people that we drive crazy and despise us. And, if we attacked everyone, I would never have any time to spend, with my kids, because that's what people do on this thing. You got to just let it bounce off you.
That was Derek Anthony's undoing.
I know.
He used to let those forums get him into a freaking blood pressure to 300. I mean, he was just absolutely crazy over. Remember?
I live for the troll. I live for the trolls, because there's nothing better than reading a comment from a troll, and some of them I swear they're writing War and Peace. Some of them just go on and on and on. I'm like I'm not
where
even
did
going to
they
read
get this
that.
time from? You know,
I'm not even going to read it, but then I just click on their profile pic and fuck, do I have the best laugh sometimes when I look at their profile pics? I'm like, ho, ho, ho. It's like, I should
you
laugh
get a
at
lot
some
of
of them.
that, Lee.
And then I get in trouble because I look at someone's picture and then I go back and comment and say, look, I'm sorry for laughing. I know you're going through chemo and all this stuff. I can really see it's affecting you. Lee, why do you make fun of cancer, man? And I was like, I've had friends that die of cancer. We made jokes about it when they were dying. So it's like, I got no problem. I'll make jokes about anything. Lee, you shouldn't make fun of that. You'll get cancer one day. Well, if I do, be careful you're not on my shit list, because if I know I've got 3 months to go, whoa, am I going out in a big way? I'm taking
at least taking out at least 10 people with them.
Actually,
maybe more.
speaking of taking people out, I haven't heard much. Why did that big story in Nashville sort of come and go, that bombing? It just sort of went boom, 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 and then it just disappeared.
Because, I'll tell you why. Because voting machines were involved.
I thought that the AT&T and all that garbage, and it barely made the news. It's like a bombing.
Leave that under the rug. Nothing here.
That's
Move
like,
on.
yeah.
Move on.
A bombing story around Christmas time normally would be headline news forever and ever and ever. All of a sudden, I haven't really even heard who the main suspect was or who did it.
Well, apparently he died in the blast because they found pieces of him.
Mm-hmm. They got a body from the morgue and just threw it in the car.
I wouldn't put that past them. They would
crazy.
They would do anything.
I heard like all the machines were there, and then there's some other business there, and all this other shit. Yeah.
I get I get a lot of my news from Sky News now, because they're the only way you can get some truth into what's going on.
Yeah. Take a look at this.
Did you actually see it? Did you actually see that interview with Fauci, John, when he was getting that placebo injection? He's like, he's sitting there, and he's like, and he's like, oh, it didn't hurt, this and that, and then they asked him about it, and he goes, oh, I got nothing to worry about. We've been, in exact words, we've been working on this vaccine for years.
Yeah.
This vaccine. It's like, wait a minute.
They're like, we created the virus. We got to create a cure before we release the virus, right?
We're working on it for years.
Yeah. All right, let's go to something more bodybuilding related. I wanted to show you this picture that Chris Bumstead put up on his page. Is this an insane picture? It's him and his brother-in-law, Ian Valliere. Obviously, Ian is in the Open Mr. Olympia. Chris Bumstead being the Classic Physique Olympia champ. This is backstage at the show. How freaky is this?
Why don't they look at that on stage?
As Chris Aceto would say,
John, you're gonna get people hating us again.
Yeah, don't start.
Jesus.
No, I'm just saying, but I mean, they both are super conditioned guys. But look, Bumstead at Classic Physique really holds his own against the Open guys, right?
Yeah, he does. He's got a fantastic physique, man. He's got a great line.
I mean, obviously, I know he has no intention of adding massive amounts of size and moving up to the Open, but he certainly could if he wanted to. He's got the structure.
Tiny little waist. Yeah. He's got great structure.
Love it. I love this picture.
Yep.
Another freaky picture I was looking at today.
Someone said that Fauci complained about the soreness from the shot in the wrong arm.
Do you see them when they get the shot? They don't push the plunger down.
Yeah, do they really? They did the fake shot on him?
There's like 10 of them online. They say, yeah, watch this guy get the shot, or the girl, the nurse, and they go like this, and then they don't push the plunger.
What do you think? Not to get back to Bleckman again, because we talked about him too much already, but you think, is he in favor of the vaccine, you think?
Who knows?
Because, with the research,
Depends what's in it. He's got to go through the list of what's in it, and then that's good. That really can help my metabolism.
He only goes by what's reported in the New York Times.
Yeah, the New York Times. So
he's going to go Wall Street Journal.
That vaccine might block my beta testosterone. I can't use it.
Imagine if I did a cycle.
He would always tell me, "Can you imagine me on anabolics?"
Imagine if I did a cycle.
Can you have a 16 and a half neck? Can you Cro-Magnon?
Like he never tried. Like he would have used testosterone at some point, wouldn't he?
No, he would have got divorced.
His wife would have made him use it probably at some point.
Anyway, someone's saying I got the vaccine already. What do you think? I made it at my house? Imagine that. They're going to be, you know how they have underground like steroid labs? People are going to be making their own vaccines pretty soon. Well, because you know what's going to happen? They're going to leak it, and the peptide companies will start making their own and selling it on peptide sites.
I told you, like a lot of these bodybuilders I see, like, I'm not taking the vaccine. You don't know what's in it. I'm thinking, you go to fucking Mexico and get your fucking steroids from a bathtub. You're injecting that.
I got news for you. All you got to do is tell these bodybuilders that there's a myostatin removing gene in the vaccine, and they'll all be lined up, killing each other for this thing.
They'll be going to a doctor every 2 days. What about these clowns that yell at you? Wear a mask. You got to wear a mask. You're going to die. And then the same people go out to a party at night, get drunk, and try bang a girl without any protection. There are other diseases.
I want Muscles.
Bobby to send me
Bobby Muscles.
Yep.
Friend kills COVID.
He said he's sending me a few shirts. So
and I told him to. Yeah, he's sending you the ones that I won't wear.
I'll wear that one every day.
Well, that's nice. That's nice. You're going to send me the ones you won't wear. They must be good.
Well, the ones like that, like a really like, they're extreme. You'll see what I'm talking about when you get them.
I have a couple that are hard to wear.
Yeah. Send them to Lee. He'll wear them out this street. If he doesnn't get beat up, I'll try to wear one.
Look at this picture Ronnie Coleman put up of himself. Is this the best back double bicep of all time? Lee?
From 98?
God.
It's either 98 or 99, I think. What does he say?
Probably 99.
98, Mr. Olympia.
98. Yep, that's when he came in and boom.
21, yeah.
Yeah, beat Flex.
Beat Flex and won the first O. Damn, that's insane.
I still remember that one because they were going to do all this testing and no one knew what they were going to test for. I remember all the guys, before we had to walk over to the Madison Square Gardens, there was like Ronnie sitting on a chair, there was Flex, everyone was just on these chairs waiting in the foyer. And if people wonder, because we didn't know what they were going to test for, diuretics, clenbuterol, this, or even steroids, nobody knew. All of a sudden, Chad was there and somebody else, word come back, they're not testing. Suddenly Ronnie and a few others fucking disappear back to the rooms. Like, what's going on here?
Like, what are you going to really take at that point? You know, anyway.
Well, who knows? But
who knows?
I don't know, but he looked pretty good the next day.
Diuretic.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. Wow, he looked incredible there.
Yeah, the glutes and hamstrings. I remember he was the first guy to ever like pull his trunks up and show the glutes because you weren't really allowed to do that, right? And he just did it. No one said anything. They were like, well, they're so freaky. The fans would go crazy.
Gaspari had the suits made to show his glutes.
Right. Right. But can you imagine at that 98 Olympia if they would have said to him, Ronnie, pull your trunks down? The fans would have killed. It was in New York City. The fans would have killed the fucking judges probably, you know.
Yep.
Not the fans. The gay man would have killed the judges. Yeah, but
Bleckman must have loved that glute shot. Oh my God.
I got to find it. There's a video when I was competing with, was it Dexter at the Ironman or somewhere, because my glutes were never shredded. They were hard, but never shredded. And we turned to do a back shot. There's the funniest video. I have to send it to you if I find it. As we turn to the back, Dexter does the old, we're facing the back. Dexter does the old, leans back like that and looks down at my ass. And then he pats me on the ass like that to show that, look, Lee's ass isn't good. So Lee being as quick as he is, I lean back, squat down, pat him on the calves and go,
I think I remember that actually.
Yeah. I just tapped him on the calves.
In New York, right? In New York.
I can't remember where it was, but he tapped me on the ass and looked at me like, so I just tapped him on the calves and went.
You're the last person, Lee, that I would ever start with, like trying to go tit for tat for, because you're just too quick-witted, you know.
I got to hold myself back sometimes, Dave. I must refrain.
It's not only is he quick-witted, but his wit is very interesting.
Yeah.
I told you. Did I tell you, John, how my wife keeps saying she wants to take me to one of those places where she can see where I am on the spectrum?
On the autistic spectrum.
Tell her no, you don't want to.
But the thing is, I do really want to go. But this is what I've told her. I said, what happens when I go in there and I do all their whatever they do? They ask me all these questions, and when I come out, there's too many white coats and the police waiting for me.
And they want to lock you up.
I'll be like, what, did I answer something wrong?
Lee and John, they want to know. I'm getting a question. People want Victor Richards stories. Can you guys give me your Victor Richards story?
I got one I can remember. The first time I saw Victor Richards,
I'll put a picture.
I was amazed. It was coming out of Gold's Gym, and Ed had spoken about him before because I said, I haven't seen Victor because I'd always seen him in the magazines training at Gold's. And Ed Connors told me that, sometimes we have to kick him out because he gets a bit vocal. He gets like this and gets like that. So the day I'm there, here comes Victor Richards. There's this hot girl walking out of the gym. And what's he yell out? Show us your pussy.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And Connors is like, you can see why we got to kick him out. And I didn't see him for a while after that.
Even Lee was mortified by that. You know,
I like pussy. Use the word properly. Can't say it.
Yeah, use the Aussie word. Come on, man.
Get with it.
Oh, God.
No,
I only have one. He had teamed up with this big Samoan dude. Big, you know how Samoans look like, right? Just,
uh-huh.
Yeah, like a Sonny Schmidt looking guy. Yeah.
Yeah, but not very lean.
No.
And big hair, the whole thing, and they were going into the supplement business, and so they had I guess some protein powder. So they set up this table outside of Gold's Gym, just the folding table. There wasn't a piece of paper on it, a tablecloth, just a dirty card table folded up. And then remember, those water things, the 2.5 gallon water things that go in your refrigerator, and they got
with the little thing on the front.
Well, they had commandeered one of those and pried the bottom off and put the protein powder in there with the water and shook it up. So it's leaking all over the place, and it's that dirty fucking thing is on that dirty table. And then they got the Samoan guy and Victor Richards, and they're giving people samples. They're with a little Dixie cup out with the spout, and they're handing out, and no one will take it. They're starting to get irate. Like, why are you trying this shit? So then they start getting belligerent. The Samoan guy, remember when baggy genie pants were all in those days, right?
Uh-huh.
So guys are walking into the gym. Everybody's wearing baggies, right? So the Samoan guy starts yelling, and Victor starts yelling, "Come on, take some, fill them pants up." And somebody said, "Yeah, with shit or something," and it went downhill from there, man. It was really bad. But you had to see. It was something I would expect from the Barbarian Brothers, but not them.
Yeah, I was saying Peter and David would have done set up something like that.
Someone was saying that from that thing, his left arm was smaller. No, it's just the way he's posing. I used to get that all the time because when you do this pose like that, one arm's turned up so your biceps peaked here. This arm's turned down so your biceps elongated. Right. It's just the way your wrists are turned that your bicep moves up and down. So people always go, "Is one arm of yours a lot bigger than the other?" It's like, no, it's just the way your hands are turned that your bicep peaks up.
That wasn't the best shot either. I could have pulled up him. He was a freak.
He was massive. Oh. He was really fucking big. Too bad he never could get in shape, but he was big.
Wasn't his mum and doctor like biochemist or a doctor or something?
His family were all very, smart, intelligent.
Did you ever see that picture? It's classic if you could ever find it. When he wanted to get his pro card, and to get his pro card, he had to go back to his
Nigeria or something like that.
Yeah. It was like Victor Richards competing against Shaka Zulu. I mean, they had he's Victor Richards, this massive looking muscular guy, and these other skinny guys like this in loincloths like Tarzan, just standing there. It's like, no wonder he got his pro card. It's like,
well, Joe Weider just wanted to give him a pro card to say he was a pro. I think Joe probably figured he would have competed, but he never did.
No. And I think that's the thing now.
He still contacts me. I got him on the radio show back in the day a lot. I had him on several times, and he's a good interview because he's very entertaining, but he's very opinionated. He contacted me maybe 2 months ago, and he's like, "You ready to have me back on the show?" I'm like, I'm thinking, all right, he's not really relevant, but I figure I could get no one's heard from him, so if I can get him on and tell some funny stories. And then I'm like, all right, yeah, sure. What's your schedule? He's like, well, what are we talking about? What's the pay? I'm like, there's no pay anymore. Start a YouTube channel. I'll hey, what's the return on this thing?
What the hell? He's a very impressive physique.
And I think that's how he made his name too, by not competing. Because every time when he'd do a photo shoot and be in somewhat good shape, everyone's like, imagine if Victor competed, he'd win. Imagine if Victor. It's like if he had competed and not won, then he would have lost that aura. Because he never competed, he just had this aura about him. Look at him. He'd beat everybody. But, yeah.
If that guy could have gotten in shape, he would have done damage. He really would have. He was amazing.
Yeah, everything.
A lot of time, a lot of times I would see him and Aaron Baker, like in the same at the same time, and Aaron Baker was a huge, amazing, incredible physique, and Victor Richards would make him look, small.
Victor was making a lot of money from Weider.
Was he really?
Oh yeah, he told me he was making a lot, and he was getting free pages of advertisers, and he was selling those pages. Wow. You can do that back in the day.
Yeah, wow.
So he was making a fortune. Imagine if he would have competed and not done well, he probably would have lowered his stock. So
I think Lee has a point there. The aura would have been gone. Yeah. Yep.
I know a few people that did that for contracts. They'd get like ad space and just sell the ad space to people to get paid.
Kanye Knight did it. That was one of the first deals with Body Alive. Yeah.
Wow.
Did you see that thing my friend was telling me? Because I think I've still got 4-day ban to go from my 30-day ban on Facebook. But there was something with Tonya.
Are you banned again? What'd you do this time?
I don't know. I called someone a cunt. Who knows? I was actually defending my friend, and I got in trouble. So it was like I got a 30-day ban, 4 days to go. Then I get another one. But someone just telling me that Tonya Knight put up a thing on there where she had that stalker following her around. It's been a big thing now going to court. And so, like a crazy stalker was just everywhere, like turning up at places. And
wow. Poor.
She was. I interviewed her like in the last couple of years. She's. I never really knew her. Man, I really like her a lot. She's like a super cool person.
Yeah.
Everyone had that old poster with the rose. Remember the rose and that? And I was like, yeah.
I used to train with her quite a bit.
Did you?
Yeah.
She's a super cool person. Look, she looks great. Look, here's a recent picture. She still looks great. She's got to be 50, right?
Yep. Oh yeah, 50.
Yeah. I had a picture with her just a year or so ago at the Arnold in the Olympia, I think.
I think she looks better now than she did when she competed. What do you think about that?
She got pretty ripped when she competed, but I mean, she looks great. I mean, she looks.
No, I'm just saying. I think she looks. Her physique is great still.
She aged very well.
Yeah, good genetics.
Women years and man years are not equal.
No.
I think she was one of my favorites, but my other favorite used to be Anya Langer. She used to look good.
Yeah, no, she's good.
Yep.
Yeah.
People are like, who the hell are you talking about?
She was great, Anya Langer.
Yeah, she was.
That's one of
Reiner, remember in the same show?
Yeah.
I thought what year did she get second in the Olympia? Look, I think she almost should have won it, Anya Langer. One year she got second, or
to Corey, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I remember that. I don't remember with a year though, but yeah, I think I was there. Was it in New York? I think it was in New York too. God, I remember that. I can't think of the year though.
I remember she had the white posing trunks on.
Yes. Yep.
This must hold on. I think I found the picture. I don't know what year it was, but hold on. This might be the picture. Is that the picture with the gold, with the silver medal?
Yeah. Right, that's it.
Yeah. That's the year. Yeah.
Anya Langer.
She was great for that. I don't know what happened to all these. Everyone, a lot of the female athletes disappeared.
I thought I saw something of her not long ago pop up. Not long ago, and she was still like sort of in shape and that. What's his name would probably know, because I always used to keep in contact with Barry LeMay, and because he was overseas now back home doing photography, and his brother I think still trains out of, is it Jorgen, his brother? Jurgen?
Oh yeah. I tried to get Barry LeMay on the show. He said he wasn't ready to do it. He was planning some big supplement launch or some crap like that.
He's always a nice guy, Barry.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's Bob Paris up to lately? Bob's always been nice.
He's became like a little crazy because he didn't even know us, and I tried to get him on the show because a lot of people have asked for him, and he was giving weird responses to like whoever.
Drop my name, see if he remembers me.
Oh, he doesn't like you?
Yes, I don't mean like
Chris Aceto. Chris Aceto does the best. Well, Chris was his coach, so if anyone could get him, Chris would get him. Chris does the best impression of him that I've ever heard of anyone.
Now, when I got married to Kathy, he called in and brought me a bottle of wine and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
Doing he
Maybe.
married,
I think he was trying to wine and dine you a little bit there, Lee.
Well, he did also want. I think he was after a couple of bottles of Decker.
That's it.
I remember when his wedding got covered in like Iron Man magazine.
Oh yeah, with Rod.
Yeah, with Rod.
Rod. What was it? Rod's his last name. Rod, was it Rod?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Rod.
Yeah, it was Rod. That was,
Rod.
it was definitely Rod. I don't remember his last name, but that bothered so many people back then.
I don't know why.
Oh, you know who it bothered the most? You have to get Samir on to tell the story, but Samir got invited to the wedding, and Samir went, and Ali Mullah just flew off the handle and didn't talk to Samir for a year or two. He just went off saying it was disgusting, and because I guess the religion and stuff. But he went off. He wouldn't talk to Samir for God knows how long. Ali would sometimes go through those stages where he would go ballistic. And you ever seen Ali Mullah go off? Oh fucking hell!
Yeah, and the funny thing is, the bodybuilding industry, we're so tolerant of everything, right?
Yeah.
I mean, no one cares about like race, about religion, about sexual orientation. It's just like everything's accepted in bodybuilding. So
normally, but that the magazine covered it bothered so many people.
Yeah.
Man. It was really
who knew gay people in bodybuilding. Whoa,
oh my god, yeah, imagine that.
They married each other, and
Hello guys, Nick Strength and Power here. Just want you to know that I'm not sure if you know this or not, but I've just been looking on the internet doing a bit of research, which I normally don't do, but I did some this time, and breaking news that Bob Paris was gay and actually married a fella named Rod. Not sure if anyone knows this, but like and subscribe.
You have the delivery down very well, I have to tell you. I don't think I can do that robotic delivery as well as you do.
It's just very monotone. It's just
you're good. I can't do it. I have too much inflection in my voice.
Oh God.
Oh dear.
Well, we're at 2021. It's incredible when you think about it, right? I mean,
we're going to be at 2025 soon.
I can't believe.
Well, I can't believe. Here it's the 4th. Tomorrow's the 5th. I'm thinking, where did fucking 5 days already go in the first year?
Yeah, with the whole year's is halfway gone already. Yeah.
I know. We go back to work tomorrow. It's already the 6th.
I know. Tomorrow's back to work.
I'm thinking here in Australia, June 30th is tax time. I'm already sitting there going, January, February, March. It was not long before tax.
Lee's like, I made a lot of money this year. I actually have to pay taxes. It sucks.
No, I'm leaving the country.
Yeah, let me ask you that question. When you lived in the US, you didn't have to pay Australian taxes, did you?
No, just American. Well, what happened was the first few years when I get my green card, I said to them, now, if I pay taxes, do I get like social benefits or social security, anything in America? They're like, no. So I'm like, well, I haven't got my green card yet, so I'm not going to pay my taxes. Lo and behold, I get my green card. Here comes a tax bill.
Wow. That's funny.
Whew, and I look at the tax bill.
They didn't waste any time, did they?
Let's just say what I owed and the penalties on top was pretty even. So let's just say, for instance, 1 year it was $60,000 I owed because, if you give me a check prize money, you give me stuff and taxes ain't taken out. I'm not paying taxes. I'm spending that shit.
Yeah, of course.
So I didn't pay. So what happens is you get this tax bill for $60,000. So I had to go see a tax person. I was on like payments of $1,500 a month, $1,500 a month.
Oh my God.
So what happens?
You're not the only bodybuilder who believe me, who owes taxes.
So what
when
happens?
I was at Bleckman's office, they used to call there all the time looking for these bodybuilders who weren't paying taxes.
Yeah. So what happened was, when they finally happens is come next tax year, let's just say you got that 60,000 down to 40,000. They want you to pay it all the next tax year. If you don't, boom, it goes back up. So I was at 60,000. I got it down to 40 because you couldn't pay the whole 40,000 at once. They put the penalties back on. Oh, I'm back to 56. I'm like, I'm fucking going nowhere.
Oh my God, it sucks. That sucks.
Yeah,
well, you had fun spending the money though, so
that's why you need Mark Norman.
Exactly. Yeah. So I figured, look, when I was spending the money, I paid tax on what I brought, so I was getting their taxes anyway. I had more money to spend, so in the long run, if I had brought a shitty car for $10,000, they would have got a little bit of tax. If I brought a car for $80,000, they got more tax. So it was just like, what? They wanted more.
They want it all. They want it all from you, Lee. That's how it works in this country.
Well, that was state tax.
Someone pointed out a good point. They're like, Dave, you are working right now, and then I said, you know what? You're right. I forgot. I never stopped working. Everyone's back to work Monday. I haven't stopped working since
Right.
Lee and I did a show on New Year's Eve.
Wow.
Could you imagine if you took like a week or two off and didn't do a show and just had no shows for a week or two?
Oh, I'd love it. I don't know. I'd probably be in withdrawal though.
Hello.
I have
breaking
a streak.
news here. This is Nick's strength and power. Just breaking news. It hasn't been confirmed, but Dave Palumbo has not been seen for a week or two. My inside sources tell me he's sick with COVID. Maybe has COVID, but I'm not going to even look into this because I rather just make up stories. They're more fun. Like and subscribe if you like this. Click the link below.
You know what? I got to be honest with you. There's really, I don't know if there's maybe one person in the whole industry that I really don't like. Like, I really like everyone, even, when we break balls. I think anyone who's out there putting in the time to do a YouTube channel, to do an Instagram, and who has a very big following, I salute them. I really do, because it's a lot of work. It's, John, I have this. It's almost like the kid with the perfect attendance. I can't stop doing the show because, for instance, we started in February, the first week of February of 2009. We haven't missed a fucking episode, and so I can't do it. I can't stop now. I'm like a freaking heroin addict. I gotta keep going.
And we've done these shows from the back of cars, airports, airports, bus stations, cell phones, rented laptops. Tin cans and string.
The one show I almost missed, I was in Abajania, Brazil. It was like I had to use Morse code and I called in. I think Aaron Singerman was running the show for me, and he said, "Just call in." I'm like, "There's I have to hold a wire up in the air to catch the internet signal," and I called in, so I didn't miss. Just to say I was on the show.
And it's true. And it's true what you said. In this industry, we've been around long enough that people should know. Well, they should know my personality by now and how I joke around and just goof on everything, even myself. But it's don't take it serious. We're just having fun. Have a laugh. It's I'm sure you're like me. If you really hate someone, they'll know you actually hate them, or you won't even talk to them or even discuss them. But in the old days, you could always joke around with your mates, call them names, say it is, put shit on them, and you just laughed about it. Nobody cared. But today, like you said, everyone's so sensitive. You make one little joke. Fuck him. Who does he think he is? I get this all the time. You're a washed up old fucking has-been that never won the fucking Olympia.
Yeah, they're real brave behind the keyboard too, aren't they?
Well, I've said it before too, John. I went to London or England a year and a half ago to a big expo. My friend and I, we're coming to see you and Aaron. We're going to beat you up. Look, we give them days. We're going to be there from Friday to Sunday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. In case you miss us at the expo, we're going to be up in Cardiff, England, at this gym. If you miss us there, we're going to be down in Birmingham at this gym at this time. I give you all the locations to meet us, and no one ever shows up. I'm very disappointed. It's I'd be a hitman's wet dream. I go to the same gym every day. I pretty much go to the same coffee shop, the same McDonald's. The hitman would be like, "What are you doing?" "Oh, Lee will be here at 9 o'clock. Then I'm going to." It's you would have to come looking for me. It's even at the expos, how many times? If I see you out at an expo, I'm going to do this. We'll do it. It's
there's not one person in this industry that really, if I saw them in an airport someplace, like in China or something like that, I wouldn't sit and and eat a meal with. Maybe there's people that wouldn't want to do it with me, but there's no one that I dislike that much. That I would say I would walk to the other side of the room with. So. Unfortunately, we're in a position where we're reporters, we're journalists, we cover shows, we critique physiques, and people get offended. And you know what? I just hope that people understand that it's nothing personal.
Well, look,
as
much shit as Sean and I put on each other, and I rag on Sean, I'd still sit down and eat lunch with Sean. He probably wouldn't eat with me, and if he did, I'd probably have to pay the fucking bill anyway.
As long as you paid the bill, he would sit down with you. But Sean and I talk about this all the time. No, I'll get on the phone. We'll talk. We'll text back. I'm like, Sean, are you kidding me? You're the biggest shit talker of all. And you know what? You know that I don't take it, and I'm going to give it back to you. But it doesn't mean that I wouldn't sit down and that I wouldn't call you someone that is a friend, because if I see you someplace, I would absolutely sit down and talk to you. He said, I feel the same way. I said, then don't don't take anything seriously. I know you don't. I know you're all about a paycheck, and at the end of the day, we all have a similar. We all have the same passion for lifting weights. I mean, that's that's the commonality there, right?
We just had Sean on my current pod.
Oh, you did? Oh, you had it on with Rich?
With me and Rich, yeah. Fitness, Fame, and Fortune. We have Sean Ray on this week.
I'm waiting for my invite on that show.
I didn't know you'd want to do it.
Why wouldn't you do it?
I'll do anything. I'm a media whore.
Lee went from being this rebel, who was banned from everyone. Now he's fucking the media darling. He's he's
the elder statesman of the sport.
And I keep getting told you're irrelevant, Lee. You're irrelevant. I said, well, I haven't competed in the IFBB since 06.
I only have irrelevant people on the show, so that's why you're on the show here with us.
Lee's done a good job of that.
Yeah,
so we have Sean. We have to have Lee.
So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ebony and Ivory.
Yeah, and Ebony.
Oh Jesus! We can see why Dave didn't take up lounge singing.
No, it's funny. my wife is always because I was talking about my dad going up on the stage at the magician show, and she was showing me a video of her friends who own a gymnastics gym. They were at a comedy club and they went up on the stage, and I said, "Oh, I'd love to do that." So she's like, my wife would be mortified. She'd probably leave the place if I went up on stage.
I get told I should do that. Go do a bit of stand up. I'll be good at that.
You'd be good, mate. You'd be real good.
Yeah, are you standing up or sitting down, you short fuck? I thought you meant to be a stand-up comedian.
You should just do impressions of people. You should just do impressions of people. That's all.
I don't think people in the club would know who Nick Strength and Power was. Who?
Well, it doesn't matter. I'm going to get a laugh track. One of those laugh tracks that they had back from the 70s sitcoms. And I'm going to have Lee one day on Iron Rage do his stand-up comedian. You're going to have to put an act together, Lee, for about 15 minutes of act.
Normally when I do
and I'll play the laugh track every time you tell a joke, so at least people, it'll get you inspired that, people will laugh.
It's not really jokes I tell. It's more like if I'm doing a seminar and just say we're talking about training, but then training could go into childbirth or postnatal depression or marriage, and it's just the silly stories I tell that people can relate to the silly stories, because as sick as my stories are, people sit there going, oh fuck, I've done that before. Yeah, I know what he's talking about. And I think that's what's the funniest thing. You get these comedians that actually tell stories that you can relate to, and you're like, oh shit, yeah, that's pretty funny because I know someone that did that.
Well,
like I said, people still can't get over my cocaine story, Dave, and the coffee table. That keeps coming up all the time.
I got another person asking for you to tell the sushi story again. Yeah.
Did John know about that one, the sushi story?
I didn't hear.
I don't think he heard the story. You can tell it real quick. That's how we'll take out the episode. So make sure they demonetize us.
It was like me. I had this great idea to try cocaine. I think, what's the worst that could happen? Famous last words, John. Let me tell you. So after 2 grams of cocaine, I'm watching pornography on the TV. My cat's watching me like I'm a degenerate. I'm sitting there naked on the lounge room floor, porno's on. I'm yelling at the screen like she can fucking hear me, and she's doing exactly what I'm telling her to. But you know what it's like. After a little bit of cocaine, you sort of, it's not hard anymore. So as I'm sitting on the floor naked, but I've still got my shoes on, what do I see? I have shoelaces. I'll take a shoelace off, John. So I get the shoelace off my shoe, tie it around the head of my cock, like that. Stretch it out. Tie the other end of the shoelace. I still laugh every time I hear this. Tie the other end of the shoelace to the coffee table. So now it's stretched out like one of those things you sharpen a fucking razor cutthroat on. So now I'm sitting there on the floor, cock stretched to the table. I'm stroking it, yelling at the TV with lube and porn. And then it dawns on me. I don't know where it comes from. I get this image. Say if I have a heart attack and my mother comes in and finds me like this. Imagine my mother. Imagine her grief when she comes in and sees her son. Cocaine, porno, cock tied to the coffee table. I said, imagine her sitting at Starbucks and her friends ask her, how did your son pass away, Lynette? Did he die in his sleep? Well, that might be an interesting story to tell, wouldn't it? Be like, well, yeah. It's like, yeah, but I've had, it's like that was one of my many stories, but
No, I thought it was sushi. What happened to the sushi?
What was the ahi sushi story? Someone asked me to say. I thought there was sushi involved. You weren't eating sushi while you were doing the cocaine? Oh.
No, I don't like sushi. You know the difference between eating sushi and eating pussy? Do you know the difference?
No.
The rice.
Ah.
But yeah, this is a thing. John can answer this. I think I asked you once before. John's an intellectual. He'll know this. You know how when you're with girls when you're younger and stuff, you put your hand down, but that smells a bit like fish. You'd always think, I don't know why it does smell like fish. You know, as knowledgeable as you are, John, do you ever think fish swim around the ocean with their little flippers like this, and the male fish goes up to the female fish and goes, that smells like human? That's just the question that I.
These are your jokes. He's working his material in.
It's not.
I want to, before we go, I gotta give a get well soon wish out to you. You all know Martin Kjellstrom.
Yeah.
Yes.
He had some kind of like a massive heart attack. He told me.
Oh my God.
No.
Yeah.
First Ian Harrison, now Martin.
Yeah, he was at the chiropractor, thank God, and he I think I dropped, and he had some kind of respiratory thing, and then he had some heart failure, he had a heart attack. So I hope he's on the mend, but I don't know what the exact status is. I'm trying to get it from him. I sent him a text message, and he sent me back that he's in the hospital. So let's send a lot of healing energy out to him. Great guy, you're a really good guy. I always got along with him.
He had some freaky body parts back in the day.
He was big. He was like the first 300-pound rip bodybuilder. He didn't have the best structure, but he was massive, and he was ripped,
Huge. Yeah, huge.
And like you say, you don't see many huge old rip guys anymore.
Nope.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
Shit, I was like, I put on probably 8 kilos since Christmas. I don't know what's happened.
That's a good picture of Martin.
Only been a few days.
Martin looks like a jacked up Jason Statham, right?
Yeah.
That's how I always thought. Whenever I see him, I always think Jason Statham.
God, that's huge.
Yeah. So get well soon, Martin, man. Miss you. He used to come out to New York, and he'd come, hang out the house and come to the warehouse and stuff like that. He's a good guy. He's got he loves bodybuilding. That's his only.
Is this the Steve Bleckman warehouse where you all hung out?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's where all the old MD magazines are.
We had our own warehouse.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we had our own.
Next door to Steve's.
Yeah. All right. I got to wrap this thing up, guys. Thank you for joining me on this first show of 2021. Once again, it was. Guys, Chris and John and Lee.
Nick Strength and Power here. I just want to report.
I'll let you do the sign off. Okay, wait a second. Can I let you do the sign off? All right, wait a second. I want to just thank all you guys for making RX Muscle what it is and so special. And the fans love it. I get emails and texts every single day telling us how they love the programming. It puts them in a great mood. They love the honesty, and obviously we are the truth in bodybuilding. And usually, we usually take out the show by saying, remember with Heavy Muscle Radio, and then John says the truth hurts. But you know what? Today we have a special celebrity here. So
we used to have that on the VPX show, The Truth Hurts. Yep. John and I back in the days.
Well, John's allowed to use it.
Yeah, did we use that, or we had the show? Was the Shotgun Big Show? Yeah, The Truth Hurts.
Well, he's allowed to use it because he was the original, Heavy Muscle guy with me, Heavy Muscle Radio guy. So, all right. So Lee, excuse me, Nick, can you take us out?
Hi guys, Nick Strength and Power here for another show today. I just watched the new show with Dave, John Romano, and Lee, and I just want to say it's all bullshit. I do fact check my stories. I always check them out. I always go to Google, and when Google tells me what's going on, I know. I can't say I know everything, but I do know. But I am Nick Strength and Power. I have 1 million subscribers. And that just should say something about who I am when you see my plaque behind me. Thank you from the loyal fans for making me 1 million subscribers. And I'm just very upset that these 3 guys who I look up to, especially Lee, I even brought one of his trophies. I'm a fan of his, would actually come out and say stuff like this. But fellas, my fans, my 1 million subscribers, I want you to troll Dave, troll John, troll Lee. I want you to just send them hate mail, but like and subscribe. Click subscribe and click the link below. It'll take you to their show, and I want you to bombard them with messages because I'm Nick Strength and Power, and I'm going to go cry, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
And with Heavy Muscle Radio,
the truth hurts.
It sure does. Good night, everyone, and thanks for joining.
Good night.